Coffee's good. Good morning, Budette. How's it going today? Turn the music down. It's probably too loud, huh? There, that should be better. How's it going where you're at, Budette? What's going on? Anything? And I see a couple of other people came in, but I missed their names. Hey, Belver. Hey, Tubby Wubby. How's it going out there this morning? Just getting ready to peel some chairs, huh? See that burn? See that right there? That's a burn. I had a fire going the other day that was like 5 foot high, 3 foot around, steadily feeding that thing, and one of the embers popped out and landed up here. I thought it had landed in my hair, and I was going, oh fuck, I was doing like this, trying to put stuff out, and I felt sure, man, if it catches my hair on fire, I'm done for, because, I got conditioner and different things like that, and it was dry as fuck, even with the conditioner. It would have gone up like fucking pine straw, Hey, Susie, glad you made it in. Hadn't seen you in a while. So anyway, yeah, so I was like, man, because I knew it was right there at the hairline. Got me good, the little ember did. So, thing is, I burned like a stack of wood, old wood, probably, I don't know, 8 by 3, plus about 15 wheelbarrows of junk I just raked up over here on this side that I'm slowly trying to clean up. And so I was burning that shit up. And I had already raked up like a 12, 13 wheelbarrows that I hadn't got burned yet. So I still got another dozen wheelbarrows out there to burn, not counting some more land to clean off and all. Okay, so anyway, hey, 130 Chico, how's it going? Or maybe it's I-30 Chico, I don't know. Yeah, so anyway, let me tell you about this dream. Oh my God, it was so real. It was one of those surreal dreams. The government had decided that everybody that was elderly living in the country, everybody that was farmers, everybody that had over a certain amount of land, even nursing homes, prisons, had to grow this crop. And this crop, hey baby, and this crop was something like, it wasn't bamboo, but it was the closest thing I can think of to describe it. Because you could like go out there with a machete and harvest it. Anyway, the leaves were edible. So, this became this was like a forced main food crop now for the U.S. And anybody that could grow it was required to grow it. Now, here's the thing. You weren't required to turn it in, but you had a quota you had to grow, which is crazy. So I would grow this crop and I would harvest it and I would take it down to the grocery stores. Well, grocery stores were now collection points for this crop. And in the parking lot of the grocery store, there was like a black market going on. So you could like take this crop and, of course you could eat the leaves. So, but you only want to eat so much of a leaf. I mean, supposedly it had like the benefits of like a broccoli or an asparagus or something. But then you could trade part of your product for things from the black market. And it was things like eggs and breads and, a whole bunch of other stuff that I would never get anyway. But it was like, like a regular, like open air flea market, black market kind of thing. And then you would take the rest of your crop into the grocery store. And the grocery store would weigh it, and they would give you credit for so much depending upon what it was. So you got more credit for leaves than you got for the stalks. But here's the thing, the government wanted this plant because they was using the leaves to feed people, because like I say, the leaves were edible, and they were using the stalks to now make like fake wood and biofuels. So the government had basically taken over a massive amount of industries. But for people that were like in the cities, it was like life is normal. Only prices were exceedingly expensive. So, yeah. So anyway, it was crazy because the people in the city, they're like working their jobs. They're wanting this crop. So sometimes people from the cities would show up, when they would know people were taking their harvest in or taking the chance to take their harvest in, to flat out buy the crop from people. So, I mean, it was crazy because they knew that getting it on the black market, they could get it cheaper than they could get it in the grocery store or from a government distribution center. It wasn't really a grocery store anymore. It was government distribution centers. And, the government distribution centers were now like, like a block big. Because when they gave you credit for this product, well, you could go in and you could get other food items, but then like you needed a pair of jeans, well, you could get a pair of jeans or something like that. So it was like a general store distribution center now. And so basically the main thing we got was, solvent green. So the main thing we got was things like eggs and cheese. And, meat was hard to come by, but every now and then you could get meat. Oh, as a result of all of this stuff that the government was making us do, grow this crop, I had a cow, 2 goats, and about 6 chickens we were taking care of also. Because now retirement was no longer retirement for people. Oh, you can quit working, but you're going to work as long as you're physically able. So Mary wasn't required to grow anything. But because I was physically able, I was required to grow. It was crazy. So, I mean, it was just super, super detailed. But it was socialism big time. And it wasn't like, oh, it's socialism. No, it was forced agrarian socialism. I mean, on the people out here in the country, so out here where I'm at, in this community of like 200 people, everybody else was having to grow this crop too. Problem is, some of them had jobs, so they weren't turning it in. They were like eating the leaves, and then they were like banding the stalks. And then instead of using firewood, they were just burning these bands of stalks that they made. And, supposedly this thing would yield a crop like every 2 months. So every 2 months, you had another crop, unless you had your crop rotated. And I didn't have my crop rotated. So it was like, 2 days of cutting and stacking it, and then, 2 days of taking it in. So I would cut a truck and a trailer load and take it in one day, and then the next day cut a truck and a trailer load, and then that would be it for 2 months. Then I could go on about business with cows and chickens and goats and the garden and, doing other things that we wanted to do that we do in retirement. But, it was just crazy dream. So Yeah, that's what socialism's going to become. In a socialist society, retirement is only for the people that are physically disabled. And then if you're physically disabled, they're going to deny you health care for somebody that's physically able. And then you're going to, and then you're not going to live very long unless you can live on home remedies and shit. So I'm thinking more like Animal Farm. For those of you out there that read the book Animal Farm, it's a satire based on the Russian government and the Russian Revolution. So, because, yeah, so you were bound to your land now, at least for a certain amount of time, to harvest your crop and get it turned in to get some of the things you needed. And so people that had jobs, people that were in the cities, well, their life wasn't impacted. I mean, there was still the internet, and the thing is, no one was fussing about it. Because all the big people in the big cities, they didn't have a reason to fuss about what was happening to country people and farmers, because they were still getting theirs. Rich people didn't have a reason to fuss because, fuck, rich people can always get anything they want whenever they want it. So it was just the lower middle class and the retired and the poor that were really suffering. And because this crop could be grown just about anywhere, they had taken a bunch of homeless people and stuck them out in like the plateau of Washington. They had taken them and stuck them out in little places that like on the edge of the desert where this crop could survive a little bit. Couldn't survive in the middle of the desert, but on the edges of the desert it could. So they took a lot of these homeless people and they put them in communities out there and told them, you'll grow this crop or you'll die. You'll grow this crop and turn it in for whatever you want or die. Oh, by the way, you can't eat the crop. And so, they were like building houses out of the stalks. I mean, granted, they were shanty houses, but it was tremendous change to society, to people out in the country and people that were elderly. And that's what's going to happen with socialism. People that are out in the country, people that are disabled, they're going to be the ones that are going to really suffer. And see, this is what, and to me, in my mind, I make a parallel about a different parallel that has nothing to do with the dream, about the Electoral College. People in the cities, if they make all of the decisions, then the people out in the country are going to be nothing but slaves to the people of the cities. Your vote's not going to matter. The forefathers tried, even though it may not be a perfect system, they tried to come up with a system where everyone would at least have some kind of representation. If we go to the popular vote, then, Denver, New York, Chicago, San Francisco, Miami, Atlanta, and about a dozen other cities are going to then make all decisions for the rest of the country. That's why the popular vote has not been approved. Anybody with any sense knows that once you agree to make the popular vote the rule of the land, there's going to be about 15-20% of the population that's automatically fucked over. I mean, seriously. I mean, and in a big way fucked over. We already can't get them to fix the roads up here. No, they have no idea about rural life. So, you can go to a popular vote, and a popular vote, yeah, people can say, sure, let's make these people out there in the country uh, grow this crop. They don't have anything better to do. Yeah, why should we pay tax dollars for somebody that's physically able? Oh my God, I'll never retire. Make them work too until they die. So I guess I was having doubts in my dream about being able to stay retired and stay living a comfortable life or something without the government forcing something on me. I don't know. Crazy. Yeah, they're going to reintroduce wolves. That's true. They did. They didn't care how many sheep were killed. They didn't care. Granted, and like most of life, that's a gray area. The wolves restored part of the natural ecosystem of the area, but then they also did damage to the ranchers and stuff around there. So and you have to weigh which is more important. And I guess the restoring of the ecosystem is really ultimately more important, because you can put up a better fence, a higher fence, that kind of stuff. But, and ranchers are probably sort of like farmers. You hope to get 10 acres of crops, so you plant 15. And if you get 15, great. Maybe you can repair something. Maybe you can build a new barn or repair the barn or something. But yeah, I know, and see, that's like most of life. It's a complicated gray issue. People that want to think that life is all black and white, they're part of the problem. They're part of the problem. Just like reintroduction of the wolves is kind of a gray area. Yeah, you want to restore the environment, but yeah, you don't want to necessarily infringe upon the farmers either, or the ranchers. So, it's gray. You have to weigh which is the best, which is the most desirable, and then go with that. What's the most desirable? But, yeah, I don't have the energy to write a book about that. I could probably get a short story out of it. I don't know that I could get a full novel out of it. But I'm not really interested in finding someone to publish. And I'm damn sure not going to self-publish. And I'm damn sure not going to write with someone else, because I tried that and it didn't work out. I did all of this writing for months, and I wrote some pretty decent stuff, came up with some pretty good stuff, and then the book just kind of like, nothing's been done on it in over a year, and now it's at the point that I can't do anything else on it, because if I do, she could say I'm infringing on her part of it, and she can't do anything, because if she does, I can say she's infringing on my part of it. So there is a book that's like storyline written, chapters written that will never go any further. So me writing a book with someone else is probably never going to happen for that simple reason. And writing a short story, well, then where are you going to get your short story published? Yeah, you could try to reach out to magazines and all of that. I could write several little short stories and self-publish, but I'm not into that. I'm not so hungry to call myself a writer that I'm going to self-publish and go out there and do a bunch of stuff for nothing. I probably wouldn't make any money off of it. So what's the point? I got plenty of stuff to do without doing that. I live in reality. I don't live in a fantasy world. Uh, if I lived in a fantasy world, then I could probably, you know, justify it, kind of thing. So it's crazy. For those of you out there that aren't members of the AARP, you know, you might want to consider joining. There is an alternate organization now, because I'll be quite honest with you, I don't endorse everything the AARP does. You know, they finance some liberal type shit sometimes. You know, they act all conservative, but they finance some liberal ass shit sometimes. You look into what they finance and who they help along the way sometimes, and you'd like go, oh my God, you know. But it's better than supporting nobody, you know. So if you're like 55 or older, you can actually become a member of the AARP. You know, I've been a member for, actually when I joined, you could be like 50. So, you know, I've been a member for like, oh, it's still 50? Okay. So I've been a member for like 15 years. But I don't support everything they endorse. So just because I mention them, don't think that I agree with everything they agree with. You know, but I like to read their articles every now and then, and you know, stuff like that. And then sometimes I'm like, holy fuck, you know, and you know, sometimes I read their stuff, and when I was a teacher, I would share some of the stuff with people at work, you know, so that they'd go, shit, you know, and they were more in the workforce than I was, so that they could say, hey, we're not going to let this shit go. We're going to protest this by all means, you know. Emma saw some bicycles on the path, so she had to run down to bark at them. She barked the one bark leaping off the porch. Now she's just down there watching them. Anyway, so I mean, you know, I don't endorse everything they do. Okay, so now they're talking about, there's an article in here about veggies bought with Medicare. So they want to make it to where they say there's about 1.93 million cases of heart disease might be prevented over a lifetime by those enrolled in programs. Okay, healthy food prescriptions can provide a similar or bigger bang for your buck. Well, here's the thing. Not all vegetables are as good as they want to claim they are. So AARP is behind the times because some vegetables are massively full of sugar, natural sugars. And, you know, and then they talk about eat fruits. You're eating fruits, you're eating massive amounts of sugars. It's, you know, natural sugar, but it's still sugar. And what leads to diabetes? Excessive production of insulin, where your body is like having to cope with all the sugar and all of this other bunch of shit you're putting into your system. What happens to your kidneys and liver? Well, there's been studies come out lately that say that a lot of crops are being sprayed with Roundup to kill them. You know, there's glyphosate or whatever the fuck it is. They're spraying with that to like kill the harvest before they kill the crop before they harvest it. And then a little tiny amount of that stuff remains on the product even when it gets produced into something. So, you know, so the grains and the fruits, you're like overworking your insulin, you're overworking your kidneys, filtering out these toxins that they've used to harvest the food. So, you know, that's great if they're going to say you can use this for, you know, for pesticide-free kind of foods. So let's see. They're saying that to do this product, to do this thing of giving Medicare people a card to buy more vegetables and fruits and stuff would run $122.6 billion over the beneficiaries' lifetimes. But they estimate that it would help save 39.7 billion. Wait. Let's back up. You're going to spend 122 billion to save 39 billion. That's what's fucked up with this country right there. We're going to spend 122 billion to save 39 billion. What? Where's the sense in that? No. How about let's just make healthy eating actually easier for people to do? I mean, you go to some places and you order, and I'm not into fruit. About the only fruit I eat are like berries. But anyway, you go to like somewhere and you get a burger. Oh, it's $2. You want to get a fruit cup. Oh, it's $3. So they discourage you from the beginning of eating healthy just simply by the price of the food. So we're going to spend 122 billion to save 39 billion. And the AARP is endorsing this. See, that's what I'm saying about, I don't agree with everything that they agree with. Oh, by the way, I am like halfway boycotting Dunkin' Donuts. Now, I don't get donuts, so don't get me wrong. I go there for their iced coffee or their hot coffee. But I'm about at the point where I'm going to boycott them because they do not have a senior discount. But you let a teenager come in there, oh, they got a student discount. You let a cop come in there, they got a cop discount. You let a soldier come in there, oh, they got a military discount. But they don't have a senior citizen discount. That pisses me off. That pisses me off. So, I have to pay full price, but some little teenager can come in there and get their drink cheaper than me. God, that pisses me off. All right, and then they're doing a whole bunch of stuff for healthcare. You see, they actually backed part of universal healthcare, AARP did. And, so I wasn't with them for that. Yeah, then they almost always have an article on elderly abuse. And you know what? I understand that sometimes elderly people get abused. But I'm going to have to be mighty frail. And I'm not there yet. But I'm going to have to be mighty frail for one of my kids to start abusing me. Because, I still believe in the Jerry Clower or the Bill Cosby saying, which one of them ever said it a long time ago? I brought you into this world and I'll take you out. So, But there's, every time it seems like there's an article about elderly abuse. And I know that people that are in nursing homes, yes, it happens to them. So, that's one reason to try to keep us out of nursing homes is just simply for that point. But, and so they're, crazy. So they got all of these people still lobbying. There's still got a bunch of people lobbying for Medicare and all of this kind of stuff and lower prices on prescription drugs and all of that, which I kind of agree with. I mean, that part, we do need cheaper drugs. I mean, you look at what the world pays for drugs and what the U.S. pays for drugs, it is massively higher. Which, by the way, is another reason to approve marijuana legally and give us the fucking right to grow, is because, you know, marijuana can relieve pain, and it's a lot less harmful for you to smoke that joint every day, drink that juice every day, you know, take those drops every day, put that salve on every day, than it is to take opioids or some of these other things. So, you know, by the way, I read an article the other day, kind of sidetracked here. I read an article the other day that says the government, while it's making it hard on people to do all this stuff with marijuana, they already have medical patents on stuff so that whenever it is released, whenever it is legally released, the government, with all of its patents on marijuana, is going to rake in massive amounts of money. Massive amounts of money. So to me, why is the government fighting legalization when they have the patents and they're like keeping other people from getting the patents? And they're going to benefit, you know, tremendously, tremendously. But yeah, I was reading this article, and it dates all the way back to before Nixon, that the government started patenting things with marijuana. And so they've been patenting marijuana, different things with it, for almost 50 years now. So that whenever it is legalized, the government has the patents, and the government's going to make the money. You know, you talk about putting us normal people in a bind, having to bow down to the government. Well, now, all of the people that are fighting for legalization, the government's just sitting back laughing, because when it is legalized, they're going to rake in the dough. I mean, seriously. If you're not a medical patient, you got to pay tax on it anyway. So, I mean, you know, it's crazy. All right. So anyway, and the AARP is in favor of people aging in place where they are. So, you know, a lot of people, as they age, they lose a huge amount of their income, and as a result, with prices rising, they can't sustain the type of life they have, and that's why they have to downsize. A lot of people, and you know, not all elderly have to downsize, but a lot of them have to downsize because they can't afford to stay where they are, keep the lifestyle they had before, and so the AARP is working towards trying to help support where caregivers can come into your home and help you maintain at your home, rather than putting you into like a facility, you know, where you're at a larger chance of abuse. So, you know, that's a good thing. You know, they're always talking about diabetes and some of these other things, but yet they don't promote a diet that works against diabetes. I mean, they're saying eat fruits and vegetables. No. Eat eggs, cheese, meat, drink red wine, eat nuts, you know, kind of thing. Mary went to the doctor the other day, and, you know, the doctor actually encouraged us to drink like a glass of red wine every day. Said it'll lower your LDL and raise your HDL by, I forget how many points, a certain number of points. And he says, so, you know, if you don't want to take these statin drugs, which we're both against those because we both used to take them, and now we don't take them because because they cause muscle pain, along with the other side effects of just your body having now to filter out another chemical. I mean, I was having terrible aches and pains when I was on statin. I mean, you know, I was like, shit, I was taking the CBD to cover the side effects of the statin. So I quit taking the statin drug for cholesterol about six, 7 months ago. And I go for August for a blood test. So I'm going to be interested in what it says. Because my muscle pain is so much less now, my joint pain is so much less now that I'm off of that drug, that, you know, if I have to drink a glass of red wine every day, fuck yeah, I'm into that rather than taking that little pill. If I need to like pop 2 or 3 Brazil nuts a day and drink the red wine, I'm okay with that, because guess what? I like Brazil nuts. I like, you know, not peanuts, because peanuts are not really a nut. But, you know, and I love pecans. I love pecans and walnuts. You know, I probably eat an ounce of pecans at least every other day, sometimes more. You know, I'll take some blueberries and some pecans, and that's like my evening snack. You know, you don't get but like a quarter to a half a cup of blueberries. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit of sugar there from the blueberries, but I'm also getting the antioxidants and stuff, and then getting the fats, the good fats and stuff from the pecans, and a little bit of protein. So, you know, it's better for you than a bowl of chips. Way better for you than a bowl of chips or a bowl of ice cream. I mean, so, you know, those of you out there eating the ice cream and eating the chips, consider going to like pecans and blueberries. You know, don't eat a fucking cup of them or 2 cups of them, and don't just add them to your ice cream. I mean, just the blueberries and pecans, and no more than like a quarter to a half a cup of each. Don't go, oh, I bought these blueberries, I'm gonna sit down here and eat the whole container. No, don't do that. All right, so anyway, they're doing all this talk about diabetes, and I'm going, fuck, that's great, but you're not advertising the right kind of diet to go with it. Of course, I'm convinced that you know, a lot of these organizations just want the elderly to die anyway. You know, that's why the AARP, and there's another organization out there that's more conservative, because AARP can be kind of liberal. That's more conservative. Hey, baby, you want me to help you down? It's a little cool. Do you want to come down and do a little wake and bake with people, and I'll go get your jacket?
Yeah, but finish your thoughts.
Okay. So anyway, you know, so definitely check it out. But anyway, I was just kind of flipping through the AARP magazine, talking about a couple of odd things, and you know, I did tell them about my crazy dream, but Ed says I ought to write a book about it, and I told her, well, I wouldn't be writing a book with anybody because that didn't work out, and you know, the best I could probably get. The best I could probably get would be like a short story.
The hell did her name come up this early?
And, well, because I was talking about writing a book, and it instantly led me to think about...
Your book, your part of that book was so much better than the fucking part of that book.
Well, I understand, but now my book is locked up because I can't continue that book because she could say, oh, she contributed to it. And she can't continue that book because I'd say, oh, wait, I contributed to that book.
Get down.
So,
You're dirty.
anyway, Mary's going to probably have a little bit of wake and bake with y'all. I'm going to go get her jacket because it is in the 50s out here this morning.
Do you find any tea up there?
You want me to put some water on for tea?
Yeah.
Well, I can put some water on for tea. Okay. Do you have a particular kind you want? Budette's right now is about the only person here, I think.
Hi, Budette.
So I'll turn it like that, and I'll go get your tea.
Shit, it's cold out here. Let me look at how much. Hi, Budette. I saw you hit the. It's 59 out here. Let me warm myself up. I have something to warm me up, right? there she goes through the yard. Oh, God, she's going to be one solid mud ball. Anyway, he started telling me that frickin' thing. You're peeling the seat out of a chair. I saw where you hooked up with that one person. You got all those chairs to do. That's so cool. Yeah, that's the way it works, though, isn't it? I like the barter system. I like the word of mouth. I like the getting to know people. And that's how we hopefully found our resource for eggs up here. Exactly. Well, I hope the best for you. I love it when people, and I'm excited for you, but because I love it for when people find things that they're really good at and they're really interested in, and it thrills them to do it. And to me, it would be horrible work, right? I wouldn't want to do it in any way. Oh, thank you, Lex. You could have waited.
No, I got the water on for you.
See, this is the way he is. He'll walk up and down the stairs 15 times to make sure I've got what I need.
So,
Thank
that's
you,
your
baby.
jacket. I'm going to go back and get your tea, and then
Okay.
I'll be back and I'll take back over.
Hey, NJ. Were you in here before? It's Lex's scope. It's not me. Lex is going to get me a cup of tea. Because it's cold the fuck out here. He started telling me that dream this morning, and I was trying to watch one of my doctors on YouTube. He was irritating the shit out of me, so I was half listening, and I think that's why he came down here, because I wouldn't listen. And he was like, I'll go find somebody to listen to me. You ain't gonna listen to me, I'll listen to you. Cheers, however many people's in here. Keep giving him hearts. He's getting ahead of me, though. I hate my bangs. I really chopped them this time, didn't I? Need to get a hat. Natural way to keep away mosquitoes. Oh, that's good. That's Lucinda Williams. I don't know if Budette's in here anymore. I can't see. He doesn't have the icons at the bottom. For some reason, half the time, oh, there she is. Half the time, we don't get the icons at the bottom anymore. We get some counting clock, like we're being counted down. You know, like you're gonna get an hour, and then we're cutting your ass off. I don't know what they really mean, but that's what it seems like. God, the wind would stop blowing. It would be nice. There's white crap all over our patio out here because there was ants coming between the bricks that he laid back here. So I read on Pinterest that you put baking soda on it and they'll go away. So we put baking soda on it. Right now it looks like crap, but I haven't seen any ants either. Which they were congregating under my rocking chair where I sit to get sun. And that is not cool. So I want to talk to EMMA. She knows her name, so I can't say it. Hi, Balboa. This is Lex's scope. He'll be right back. He's making me tea. I see he's got a crazy playlist on. That's why I don't come to his things. He plays weird music. Oh, the cardinal's back. No, they weren't fire ants. They're just little, I call them piss ants. They're little tiny black ants. And they will bite you. They will bite you. But they're just, you know how it's sand, so it's easy to dig. So, you know, the layer under the bricks is sand. It was just easy place to make a home for them. But I'm like, no home here. like Amelia would say, my granddaughter, my 3-year-old granddaughter, she'd say, no thank you. She is, Emma, no thank you, when she jumps on her son. Thank you, Lex. You can take back your thing. NJ Experiments is in.
Okay, you ready? Watch this. I want to show you this. So this is my old jacket. Ready? Watch this. So if anybody out there...
Yes, it is.
So if anybody out there is in the desire to like see me wear clothes that fit better, you know,
Yum.
by all means, send me a large hoodie. Okay?
Yes, because he looks like crap now. He looks like a little old man that's been buying all of his clothes at Goodwill. And he doesn't have a wife. He's widowed. And
Mary makes me buy these shirts that will fit because she said she wasn't gonna go out with me in public in some of my 2X shirts anymore.
no.
So she made me buy some
the
shirts.
shoulders were
Now,
coming down to your elbows.
Admittedly, I like them and they're soft T-shirts and everything. And I did end up with about 5 or 6 of them by the time it was over because we went back 2 different times.
They were super cheap.
So, yeah, they were super cheap. And, you know, we got one of those Kohl's cash cards for part of one of them, so. And every time I go in, they say, do you have a coupon? I say, no. Do you have one to give me? And so they give me one.
Okay, how many women can go into Kohl's and say, hey, do you have a coupon? And you get one? You don't, do you? But when he goes in, he gets one. Just like at the bank, they fucking love him.
Oh, I went into Bed Bath & Beyond to buy, what was it I bought?
Oh, yeah, and he comes out. Excuse me. He goes into Bed Bath & Beyond to get something simple, right? And he comes out with this woman. He comes out with this woman, this like 35, 38-year-old woman, and they're just jacking it up, walking through the parking lot. And I'm like, are they going to split up or are they coming straight to the car? Should I get in the back seat? What the hell's going on? Right? Jesus. I'm sorry.
So anyway, I'm in Bed Bath & Beyond. I went there to buy something we needed. I forget what it was. It was like
something simple.
It was something simple. It was like a butter dish. No, it wasn't a butter dish because we had to order that. I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
Either.
Anyway, it was something simple, and that they didn't have at Target or whatever. And so I'm in line. So I'm in line, and this woman in front of me's got like 6 coupons. She's using a coupon on every single thing. And so it comes my time at the teller beside her, the cashier beside her. And so I pull up her. She says, "You got a coupon?" I said, "No. Do you have one you can give me?" And the lady turns to me and says, "She may not, but I do. No, I do. Here, take these." And she gives me like 4 coupons. She says, "They never expire." So I've got like 50 of them. And I try to give them out to anybody that says they need a Bed Bath & Beyond coupon. So she gave me like 4 coupons, and I used them, and then, you know, I felt obliged because she like saved me.
Oh, I felt obliged
$10.
for things to fall into her that I hang off of me.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
So I felt obliged to talk to her, you know, until such time that it came a point for us to part ways. Well, she kept talking to me and telling me shit, and actually walked me 3/4 of the way to the car, out of her way talking to me.
That was another thing that I thought was interesting.
Before she like split off and went back up to her car. So, I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I do that shit all the time. I say, you know, "Do you have one you can give me?"
I almost got out of the car and opened the car door because this is Mary and said, "Hey, babe, can you take this to the trash?" Bitch.
You don't even know her. She was a nice lady. She's a rich bored housewife.
Right. It's exactly the kind looking for you. A rich fucking bored housewife.
She's a rich bored housewife.
Yes, exactly. And that's why you don't get to go in your truck by yourself anywhere.
Oh, man. So, anyway, it's crazy.
You're crazy.
But,
you cannot even imagine what he gets into, people.
Oh, God. So, but, you know, so I just asked for a coupon everywhere. You know, my grandfather told me, God, 50 plus years ago, you know, all they can do is tell you no or hell no. If you don't ever ask, you don't ever get. So ask. And then if they tell you no, okay.
It's yes, no, hell no.
Well, my dad was of the opposite opinion. You know, his opinion was don't ask and don't receive. so you know, if it wasn't him, then you know I would ask. so you know, oh my God, they got a whole thing on here on when it pays to be loyal. Now, if you're 50 years old and you don't know how to be loyal and who to be loyal to,
let's cut this
and
out
when
and mail
to be
it over
loyal.
to Elliott Drive. Oh, would that be 1635 Elliott Drive?
All right, stop
I
there.
think it might be.
But anyway, you know,
Everybody that gets the ARP, everybody mail her that, please. 1635 Elliott, Williamsport. You'll make out.
but you know, eventually I'm going to gel it in my mind when Senior Day at the grocery store is.
I don't know when it is.
I cannot remember. I cannot remember for some
you're a
reason.
senior. They need to make it every day. Oh, I'm going to tell that mean bitch, you know, that one that hates me, that we go through her line. I'm going to tell her next time, and I'm going to say, I think because some of the elderly like me, and we have a little dementia, you need to make Senior Day every day because we can't keep up with the day.
She'll say, put it on your calendar or something.
She's a bitch.
I think she's
charmed her. That's one woman you haven't charmed in this city. Can you charm her?
She's reasonably nice to me when I'm by myself. But when you're with me, she's like instantly fussed up. You know, so, I mean, she's not totally nice to me, but she's nicer to me when you're not with me than she is when you're with me. Okay?
Mary's not an agitator, but I do look for her so I can go through her line.
Oh, my God. So,
I'm going to
you know, see, here's the stuff I don't agree with AARP doing. In Pennsylvania, they're sponsoring a programming an art museum. You know, they're in Maryland. They're doing some bunch of stuff with consumer credit counseling services.
Well,
you know,
some people that need it.
I understand people need those things, but you know, seriously. You know, and then they're talking about drug costs and stuff like that. So, a whole bunch of same old, same old. Okay. So, this is funny. They do occasionally have a funny. So, for those of you that don't get the AARP, it's the dog at the computer. He says, email is okay, but I do miss biting the postman.
Oh, God.
Oh, talking about emails, Mary was telling me about, I don't know if you talked about it in your scope or not, about the person that made the mistake with putting the cow emoji. You want to tell them about that?
No, you can.
Okay. So Mary, I can't even remember what it was about, but Mary was telling me this woman wrote this nice email or nice post to someone, and then at the end of it,
What was it? But she died. She died at 100 years. She died
Oh,
on her
yeah,
birthday.
that's right.
It was 100 years later, and everybody's writing condolences. Oh, I'm sorry. I know you miss her. Oh, what a wonderful, nice, long life. And she wrote something like that too. And then she came behind it and made another post. Only it was just an emoji, and it was an emoji of a cow.
a cow. And then she, rather than going in and editing the comment and deleting the comment, then the woman had to go on with other comments about, oh my God, I meant to hit the prayer hands. I'm so sorry. And
So now on this lady's memorial, there's a cow.
So on this woman's memorial page, there's now a cow and the explanation of the cow, rather than you just going in and deleting the cow. I'm going, ugh. You know, of course, some elderly just don't get computers. I mean, you know, so Mary's aunt's 80-something years old. She doesn't get it. You know, she plays like Free Cell, I think, and that's about it. Mary's parents didn't get it, even though we tried to explain it to them multiple times. You know, we sat down and spent hours trying to teach them how to work email and look at photos and you know, different things like that. Maybe they really meant it, the cow. I don't think she really meant you heifer or something, but but you know, because she just written a big paragraph about, you know, what a good lady she was and all of that kind of stuff. But it's crazy.
I think she did beautiful. She was born and died on the same day, 100 years apart.
Yeah.
Good for her. She looked like a pleasant lady.
Well, no, it wasn't an email. It was a post on a memorial Facebook page.
Big old ass cow.
No, so it was, I'm sorry, I think I did mention email, but no, it was a post on like a memorial Facebook page. And, you know, you can go in and delete comments there. Hey, Balboa, how's it going where you're at today? So, I mean, you know, but some people just don't seem to get it. You know, I mean, I don't get a lot of stuff about PlayStation and all of that, but I do have a little bit of PlayStation. I do, and you know, I haven't played in probably a year, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess because I'm more wrapped up in the computer games than I am the PlayStation, but you know, but I at least know the basics. You know, I'm not good at it, but I know the basics. So that's what I'm saying. You know, it's one of those things of continually learning. You know, and when you quit learning, that's when you really start showing your age. As long as you're trying to learn, then, you know, you're going to continue on.
And actively learn.
Say all's well, Balboa, early there. Well, it's less than, it's in the 50s here. Oh my God, the middle of June, in the 50s. And the sun's shining. Well, babe, I interrupted you. Sorry.
It's just another appalling thing I just saw. Pfizer's, you know, the drug company.
Yeah.
CEO gets a 61% pay raise to $27.9 million, but drug prices are still climbing.
Who the fuck needs to make
and you need to actively
that much money a year?
It's just not learning every day, but it's like perfecting your art, like Badette's doing, and it's also about remembering what you learned all day long. You should take some time to meditate and think about it and say, what did I learn today? And if I didn't think I really learned anything that great, strive harder the next day.
You know, and it's like all of my posts on Instagram now, almost every one of them now, I've started hashtagging examine priorities.
Oh, yeah.
Because I look around me and people have their priorities so screwed up. It's like you just can't give some people enough reminders about examine your priorities. You know, because they are so screwed up in what they are doing and how they're thinking. What's that? Sure. You want me to turn it that way? Okay. Okay. There we go.
That's my oregano plant.
Oregano.
It's looking good.
Yep, she harvested some off of it the other day.
Is my, I harvested all of them. This is my cinnamon basil from the sun.
Cinnamon basil plant.
Sorry. And this is my pride and joy. It's my mint plant. Isn't it beautiful? I harvested it too.
Yep.
Tell them how we're keeping it.
Yeah, so what we're doing is, Mary found on Pinterest, was it?
Yeah.
On Pinterest, that if you take the leaves and stuff,
and my basil plant,
put them in an ice cube tray.
It's not looking good, but it's trying.
Yeah, her basil plant, her regular basil plant is the only one that is not doing super good. But the other three are doing really great. So, anyway, so found out that you can put them in ice cube trays and then put just a little bit of water over them and freeze them. And then whatever you're going to put them into, that little bit of water is probably not going to hurt them anyway.
No, it's not a teaspoon of water.
No. So you're not putting that much water in, but you're filling the tray up as packed as you can with the herb, and then putting enough water on it just to coat it, to freeze it.
It's just great. Then you just get a cube out of oregano and throw it in.
Yeah. So, I mean, you throw a cube of oregano in your sauce, well, the water's going to melt up. It's not going to be no big deal. I mean, if your sauce is that delicate,
but
you can't handle it.
We haven't really wasted any of our herbs we've picked so far this year, which is great.
You too, NJ. You too. Have a great day.
Have a good day. Hope no rain gets you.
Yeah, hope the rain doesn't get you. Rain was here yesterday, but we're supposed to have 2 days now of no rain. So we'll see. We'll see.
Your asparagus has got quite a few things on it.
I know, but it's not. It's like supposed to do that every other year, and it's done it 2 years in a row.
Well, it's still young. It takes a while.
The other asparagus flat out died. So I need to get.
Why doesn't anybody wave to me?
Well, every now and then somebody looks this way, but a lot of them, they're just so busy doing their own thing that they got things tuned out. Got people tuned out.
Start hollering at them. Hey!
No, don't do that, because then you might encourage them to actually come over and talk to you.
Yeah, they might come over and I'd have to hide the bong.
Yeah, so we don't want to do that. You'd have to hide your pipe or hide your bong or whatever you got up here. Start trying to stuff into your pockets. And some of your pockets aren't that good, so.
I got woman pockets.
Yeah, that's true. Women's clothing pockets and men's clothing pockets are sometimes totally different.
Sometimes?
I mean, women have these like little shallow pockets lots of times.
He's giving me all this shit to carry. And then why are you bringing your purse? Well, because my fucking pockets are a quarter of yours. Then I have to carry your keys and your this and your that and your this and your that and your something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Men forget what they do, don't you? You just say, we're going to do this, and then you just walk off, forget everything.
I carry 4 main things, and if I have those 4 main things, then everything's okay.
Okay, let's do something fun. Who's in here? Anybody? Hi, guys in here. Anyway, we're going to do something fun. I'm going to name 4 reasons I don't want to be a man, and you name 4 reasons you don't want to be a woman. You start.
Periods.
Oh, that's weak. That's weak.
I don't want to be carrying. I mean, I believe in life, but I don't want to be the one carrying life. I'd be one of those women like, you go, girl, just not me. Where's that birth control pill at?
You'd be a Tiffany, in other words.
Where's that 6-month injection thing you can get up under the arm so you don't have to worry about it? Yeah. So that's 2 reasons. Periods and childbirth. That would be 2 reasons I would not want to be a woman.
Okay, I give you 2 reasons. 1, men have to do everything yucky. Like, if there's a snake, they have to kill it. If there's a bug, they have to get it. If somebody throws up on the floor, they have to clean it. I mean, men do all yucky stuff, and most of the yucky stuff they do outside. And I don't like to be dirty. That's my first reason.
Okay.
My second reason is, I'm not sure about this, but I would have to thoroughly powder puff my underparts. Completely, because I couldn't take skin on skin on skin flopping around in front of me doing crazy shit
unless you got something
all the time.
Unless you got something wrong with you, you don't need to be doing any powder puffing.
No, I think that's gross. I have to powder puff.
Besides
everything.
that, if you were that concerned about it, you could wear like briefs instead of boxers.
No, there's still stuff skin on skin all bent up in there sometimes. Okay, so no, everything would be powdered puff white.
Powder puff life.
Okay, that's my two.
That's
Said
crazy.
Two more for you.
That's crazy. Okay, let's see. I guess because I like women too much, I wouldn't want to be a woman and be attracted to other women, even though there's nothing wrong with that.
It's harder, huh?
I think that
You don't want to.
even though it's acceptable and there's nothing wrong with it, it still makes it harder on you in society.
No. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to, she's digging. You get out of there.
Like our middle son who is gay. We didn't try to discourage him from being gay.
Well, you can't. That sounded weird.
We weren't on his case. We didn't. Emma. We weren't, like whatever. But it's a harder course in life still,
you're
even though it's more acceptable.
You don't want to deal with the prejudice. We all get it. Okay,
yeah, I don't want to deal with the prejudice. I don't know. I mean, some of the things I don't mind.
Can I say what I think it would be?
What?
Knowing how you are? Being a woman to you would be like living in a world full of silver razor backed gorillas. All these gorillas around you would be stronger than you. You would be the weakling. Would you like that?
Not necessarily, because we know some women out there that's pretty strong. They can whoop my ass in a heartbeat.
Well, but you're still the weakest person in the room.
So I'm not going to claim that one.
But
I mean,
you're still
if I was,
you'd still be the weakest person in the room.
If I was the little, if I was a little 100-pound girl, then that might bother me. But
okay,
yeah.
See, more reasons to not be a man.
I think that the fact that there's so many places that women are in danger of going to by themselves, it's not necessarily the weakness thing. It's it's silly for women to take certain risks that men can take.
But there's a lot of men too, a lot of young gay boys that get in bad situations.
Well, that's true. Just
because they're picked on.
But if it's not known that they are gay, then they're not necessarily picked on. But there are situations in life where, a woman by herself is not going to be near as safe, and it's sometimes silly for her to take that chance as it is for a man to do something by himself in certain places. So I think that would be the biggest problem, because I'm so used to, if I want to do something, I just go somewhere and do it, and I don't have to worry about it. There's so many parts of the world where it's just not safe being a woman. I was watching a little video the other day, especially in India right now.
Oh God, India's so
They're
bad.
talking about women, if they go off just about anywhere by themselves, they could be a victim of rape in a heartbeat. If they go down to the river to get water by themselves,
I'll tell you another
if
problem.
they go take a bath by themselves, if they even go off from the crowd and go to the bathroom, in India right now and in some of the other countries, rape is exceedingly
where it's
exceedingly high.
Bad in the European countries, in Turkey and all that, where the Muslim immigrants have come in.
Yeah.
Those boys are running rampant. I don't know what the hell is going on, but they are raping a lot of European girls.
The fact that I would have to be very concerned.
I think we should
about rape would be a reason. Would be one of the big reasons that I wouldn't want to be a woman. It would be a very different lifestyle, just that risk. And it constantly surprises me how many women take that risk anyway. It's like a bar of bikers, and some woman will come in there in short pants. I mean, short shorts. and
she has a right to
and
do
expect that everybody's going to treat her equal. Now, she should have the right to do that, but it's a silly, stupid thing for her to do it if she doesn't want that kind of attention.
But why shouldn't she be able to come in and anything?
Well,
Although,
I'm not saying she shouldn't be able
If a man came
to.
into a bar like that in a pair of Daisy Dukes, I'd definitely be looking at him.
Well, that's true too. But the thing is, it shouldn't be that way, but it is that way. You know, and even though I'm for female equality as much as anybody, I just know that society is not there
You know
yet.
what I'm for? I'm for common sense.
And there would be a higher
I'm
risk
for common
involved.
sense.
So, you know, that would be my 4 reasons. Okay, you haven't given me your 4th reason for not
I
wanting to be
haven't
a
given you
man.
my 3rd or 4th either.
Okay.
I just don't like the whole idea of having to hang out with the boys and all that shit.
Well, girls hang out. I mean, you're just not one that hangs out with a bunch of girls, but girls hang out.
No, I've never hung out with girls, baby.
Well, I know that. I said you're not one that hangs out.
Always hung out with the boys.
But lots of girls.
Hung out with the
But
girls.
lots of girls hang out together all the time. So that's not a reason.
Okay.
That's not a real legitimate reason. Even though you're just not the kind of person that hangs out with a lot of people anyway. So.
I know, but if I have to choose the groups, I'd choose the boys.
Oh, I know. Well, I choose to hang out with the girls.
I know.
Just simply because they're girls.
This is true. This is true. When we used to go to dinners for the Knights of Columbus, there was the ladies' auxiliary group and the Knights, right? All men. And we would get dinner. We would serve dinner to everyone, and we would sit. And then they would sit in their cliques, in their little groups to talk. And the women would usually get together, and men would usually get together. Lex would always be with the women's group, and I would always be with the men's group.
So I mean, you know,
Those ladies
and all
loved you
those
so
little
much.
all those little old women loved me to death. They'd do anything they would for me. So if one of their husbands was giving me a hard time, I'd just talk to his wife. I mean, I knew what to do.
Well, you are a good grand knight, baby.
Go talk to his wife and say, you know, Carl's giving me a hard time about this. And you know, the wife would go, what? And I go, yeah, you know. So I had to, when I was Grand Knight, I had the definite support of the women's auxiliary, you know, without doubt. So, I mean, I usually got my way. There's only one thing I didn't get my way on, and that was like putting a radio tower on the Knight property. And eventually, they lost the building because after I was no longer Grand Knight, they lost the building because they wouldn't do it. And this has been, God, 20 years ago?
30 years ago, baby.
30 years ago?
And he's still pissed off, just like the turkey.
Yeah, I'm still pissed off, just like Lacey's getting the turkey to the dog. Anyway, so this is back before the city passed an ordinance that all new cell towers had to be put on city property. They would go around to people that were in residential areas that had commercial buildings, and if you had a commercial building in a nice spot, they would offer you a deal of putting a cell tower there and then paying you, giving you a contract for like the next 20 years with like, you know, a 10% increase every 5 years.
It was enough
for
to
the
pay
term
for
of the contract.
building.
And the thing is, the amount that they were willing to give us was the total mortgage of the building plus part of the utilities. And I couldn't get them to go for that. And it pissed me off. I stood up in one of the meetings and said, I don't give a fuck if they want to put it in the front parking lot. We'll build a new parking lot with the money. And they just would not go for it. I mean, we're not talking pennies here. We're talking like $1,000 a month 30 years ago. But as a result, they ended up losing the building. And they just in the last 5-6 years managed to get a new building
Which is
that is not 1/5
Very
of what the old
inadequate.
building was.
Very inadequate.
Yeah, very. I mean, they still have. Used to be all of their functions. All of their functions they could hold. They had a huge hall. Oh my God! I mean,
a huge hall. They had a private bar, and they had a industrial kitchen.
An industrial kitchen.
And a huge parking lot. They had it all.
Yeah, and now they're in like a 3-bedroom house
that they're taking the walls out of.
That they've remodeled. I mean, crazy. But
It's
they would have
okay,
still
baby.
had the building.
It's okay.
If they listened to me. Oh well. You can't make people listen sometimes. You can't make people do like what's right.
No.
You know, I keep trying sometimes to make people do right, but eventually you got to just give it up. I had to give it up on the nights for that building. I had to give it up on TP with her behavior about stuff. You know, I had to do it with some other people throughout my life. You know, I've had to leave jobs because the people on the jobs just wouldn't do right. And, you know, you get tired of sometimes being the only one trying to do right, you know. And that's been one of Mary's and my kind of guiding principles is that, well, we know we tried to do right, you know. So if we walked away, it's not because we were pissed off, it's because we've tried to do right, and you've come to a point now to where, you know, you're going to make us do something wrong just to get back at you.
Right, exactly.
So it's better just to walk away sometimes than to do something
wrong. The only thing
wrong.
I did was a glitter bomb, I swear.
Yeah. She glitter bombed her key to her. And she sent it to her, for those of you that didn't hear about that.
That's the only thing I did.
She sent her a St. Patrick's Day card full of glitter with her key, so that whenever she opened the envelope, there was no way to get the key out. There was no way to get the key out without glitter going everywhere.
This glitter had so much static electricity in it.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, glitter was out of the envelope before she could even get it taped shut.
I found glitter in my own bathroom after I did it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, she's probably still cleaning up the glitter from that. So that's the worst thing I think she's done.
No, that's what Lex always goes. He always said, I'm so disappointed in this person or this circumstance or this, the outcome or whatever it is. And Lex always says, but did you do your best and did you do what you thought was the right thing? And as long as I say yes, he said, that's all you can do.
Yep. All you can do is try to do your best and try to do the right thing. Sort of like, you know, I always try to do the nice way first.
Yeah, you do.
But some people...
I don't.
I just don't. Some people just don't respond to the nice way. You know, even if they've shown me they don't respond to the nice way, I'll try it again before I get rude.
She's so patient when people are being ugly with him. God, people. I think it's from dealing with middle schoolers, I guess.
The kids.
But he's so people get downright nasty with Lex, and he'll just come back with a lower tone of voice, real calm, and restate his purpose and his thing, and then they do it again, and he'll just come back real calm, and then when they piss him off, they cannot believe that sound will come out of that little bitty man.
Yeah. I mean, I can get pretty loud. I just try not to get loud. Just like I try not to get mad. See, Mary can get mad, and the next day, she can be over it. Or she may be mad.
I would have been over it with TP.
Or she might be mad for a month, but then she gets over it.
Yeah.
See, unfortunately, I'm not like that. So I try not to get mad, because when I get mad, it's like, oh no, you've pissed me off for life now.
That's true.
You know, I'm going to always... I might forgive you, but that don't mean I forgot it. I might give you another shot, but that don't mean I forget the first time. You know, I can forgive for my peace of mind. Not for your peace of mind, for my peace of mind. But that don't mean I forget it. You know, you done me wrong once, you might do me wrong again. You done me wrong twice, you're probably going to do me wrong again. you know. So that kind of thing, you know. Now, I'll still act like I'm your friend, but that doesn't mean I trust you. It means, you know, we're really acquaintances now. Because I don't trust you to always do the right thing, you know. It's like I saw a post the other day. It says, right is right, even if no one is doing it. And wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. You know, so, you know, that's pretty much the way I feel. Wrong is wrong, even if everybody's doing it. And that's what concerns me about some of the things going on in government, is because they're just doing more wrong, and everybody's agreeing with it. And it's still wrong. It's still wrong. You know, you can talk about a woman's right over her body all you want to, but it's still wrong to murder, even though it's a gray area. You know, it's still wrong. So,
well, I can't get into that. It's a cortisol raising discussion. Thank you.
It's cool out here, isn't it?
I know. I feel
The breeze blowing.
I'm freezing. Actually, my tea's gone.
My coffee's ice cold now.
I guess so. You're drinking iced coffee now.
I'm like drinking iced coffee now. Drinking it just because it's coffee.
I gotta get a baby bottle brush for that thing and get it clean.
Yeah. So eventually it's going to get coated to the point where the pot is inside of it's black.
Well, yeah.
It's supposed to be clear glass.
When I cannot see through the crystal clear borosilica coffee pot, then yes. See how
I guess I'm gonna have to get some. I guess I'm gonna have to get some alcohol.
That's probably true.
And some salt, and swish it around in there. It's probably what I'm gonna have to do. And then we can recycle it for you for your pipes and stuff.
I was looking for a baby bottle brush to and you can bend those, so I thought I could clean it real easy, but I can't find one. People.
All the baby brushes now have hard handles on them.
They have hard
and
handles.
instead of having a wire lead like this long,
I mean,
they all now have wire leads like this.
Yeah. We're just going to have to go and get a regular bottle brush, which they make, obviously. There's all kinds of bottles and thermos brushes and shit like that.
See, the problem is the opening is because...
It's very narrow, and then
because the opening is such that a lot of things won't fit in there.
If it won't bend and the brush isn't big enough, it won't get the sides either.
Yeah. So I may just have to take some alcohol and salt and work with it.
He's a good glass cleaner now.
Yeah.
He cleans all my glass. It's so wonderful.
I clean glass all the time. Clean glass all the time. So she'll finish a pipe and she'll say, this one needs to be cleaned. And I'll go, okay. And so I'll just set it in something to soak and then take care of it whenever I get a chance, you know. I have had 2 or 3 sitting soaking, and then go over there and just, boom, take care of them. Go to Bed Bath & Beyond. They have long bottle brushes.
Okay, good.
Balboa said, okay. All
We'll
righty.
do that.
Well, I don't have a coupon, though.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm going to have to go in there and ask for a coupon.
You probably could get one, too. I won't go in there with you if that's the way it's going to be.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't have one, so I'm going to have to get one from somebody. See, I had a coupon to spare from the ones the lady gave me because she gave me like 4. And I used like 2 of them, so I had 2 more. Problem is, they were downstairs, and when the laundry detergent bottle went all over the place, it like soaked the coupon. So I lost the coupons to the laundry detergent. What a pain that was to clean up. So you'll have to look back when I talk about whatever one I had to clean up that thing. It was a mess. Oh my God. Like 6 foot around, stacked up this high. Fortunately, I caught it before it had spread everywhere. Smile and say you left it at home. Yeah. I don't even do that. I just smile and say, do you have one you can give me? And most of the time, it works. Not always, but most of the time. So when we go to the grocery store today, too, I got to remember to make sure I'm registered as a senior.
That's right.
Yeah, because you can actually register as a senior, and then if you go in on the right day, it automatically gives you the discount. So that way you don't have to ask and prove you're a senior. It'll automatically recognize it on your
Well, when
card.
we asked the nasty cashier about it, she goes, you have to be 65. And
I go, I am 65.
And she didn't believe him. She goes, well, you're going to have ID for that.
I said, here's my driver's license.
She was she hates me, and I don't know
She claims
why.
she put it. See, that's one of those times when I was real patient. She claims she put it in for me, but I don't. I don't believe her. I think I'm gonna have to check at the main desk. You know. What? You're wanting up?
She's dirty.
You're dirty. Your paws are wet. I don't think you're really dirty. I just think your paws are wet. Come here. Okay. Are you going to lay down now? Or are you up here just to bother me? No, you're not going to drink my coffee. That's my coffee. There's nothing up on the table for you to get. In case that's what you were doing. Yeah, she wanted to come up and check out the table because she thought there was something up here.
No, baby.
Because sometimes we'll eat out here. We eat out here quite a bit, really. If it's cool like it is today, you know, there's a possibility we might just eat lunch out here.
Oh yeah, why not?
And you know,
I know what I'm having.
what are you having?
I'm having pulled pork with a fried egg over it.
Pulled pork with a fried egg. I think I'm just gonna have some pulled pork and cheese. Of course, you're trying to cut down on the cheese, but I'm not trying to cut down on the cheese. But I'm gonna have some cheese with my pulled pork. We got to talk about where we're going to fix our pork loin. We got another half of a pork loin to fix. You know, for those of you that don't know this, you can go to Sam's and probably Costco too, and you can buy these beautiful tenderloins, pork tenderloins. Oh my God, they're like that long.
They're very big.
They're huge, and we have an Instapot that will hold like a 5-pound pork loin without a problem. And so we could probably stuff the whole thing in there, but we cut it in half and then do it could probably hold 10 pounds, but we usually don't put more than 5 pounds in it. Anyway, so we cut it in half, and then that one half of a pork loin will feed us for each of us for 3-4 times. So we're getting 8 meals out of a half a pork loin. And granted, they're expensive. Pork loins are $22 to $25. But when you consider out of a $25 pork loin, we'll get 14 to 16 meals.
Yeah.
That's not bad. It's not bad at all. So if you're not taking advantage of Sam's pork loins, you should. They are good. We haven't got a bad one yet. I cannot say the same for their ribs, but their pork loins and their beef roast are usually pretty good. Their fucking steaks are expensive though, so don't go and buy their steaks. Their steaks are expensive as shit. There's $10 for what was it, 1.5 pound steak? I'm going,
where?
At Sam's.
Yeah, some of their steaks were really high.
They were
I don't know.
high.
Were you looking at the grass-fed?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Oh, God, they were terribly expensive. But
that's why we're going to buy a cow.
Mary wants to buy a cow, a half a cow or something. But that's $600. And I don't know.
Okay, baby.
I know that we're spending that money over time on beef anyway. Because by the time we buy, five beef roast, well, we spent $100 to $120. But whew, slapping out $600 at one time is like, I don't know about that. It's like those Sam's trips. We don't buy anything we don't need, but those damn Sam trips of $300 to $600 is like, fuck. You befriended a pig in the neighborhood, got close to it, it's like a dog came to you.
Oh, wow.
Did you then slaughter that buddy and eat him up?
Lex. Oh, my God. I'm sorry for him. I'm trying to keep him out of the public eye.
Because that's like if some deer around here decided it wanted me, they did, they killed it. If I befriended some deer around here, come empty time in the meat drawers, I just like slay that buddy, and then see if another one would be stupid enough to come over here and be my friend. It was devastating to you. That's why you don't make pets of your food, okay? You don't make pets of your food. Your food is your food.
You don't name your cows.
You don't name your cows. You don't name your pigs. You don't name your chickens, because you're going to eventually eat those girls and boys. You name your llama because you don't eat your llama. You name your dog. You name your cat. You brought it food. You were sad. Oh well. They probably got 2 more little ones, and you can feed them for a while, and then they'll slaughter them. I know a lady at the fire hall. She has pet pigs. And I'm going, you named the pig Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon probably made some good bacon. Oh, I saw a thing on Flipboard the other day. They named it bacon. Okay. I saw a thing in Flipboard the other day. There's a restaurant. It's in New York or somewhere that now serves only bacon. But it's like different kinds of bacon. It's like apple bacon, barbecue bacon, honey bacon, and all of this stuff. And you can get it either thin sliced or thick sliced. And I thought, wow, it would be good to try that place. But the carbs they're putting on that bacon, oh my God, it would be like out of this world. But the little article I was reading, it named like some of the bacons. It said they had like, I don't know, a variety of like 24 different kinds of bacon. And that's the only thing they fix, bacon. So I'm thinking, that's my kind of restaurant. No fluff of other stuff. Just go in and decide what kind of bacon are you going to have. Get your bacon and go on. You don't buy pork products? It wouldn't slow me down. Wouldn't slow me down at all. I love pork chops. I love pork loins. Love sausage. So, pet pig is not going to slow me down from eating pork. Yeah. Beef and chicken. Yeah, I like beef and chicken too. I am not much on fish, and I've really got to increase my fish intake. Mary likes sardines and herring and tuna and what's that other fish they fix around here all the time? Haddock and all of that. And Maui, and I'm just not too much into fish. And I really need to make myself eat more fish, but because it's good to lower your cholesterol and everything, but still, You'll eat bacon if there's no other meat available? Yeah. So you like to catch fish? Well, see, I really should start fishing because there's rainbow trout up here and all of that kind of stuff. But I just have not. I just really have not got the fishing bug. Well, I'm going to have to go.
Okay.
So.
Well, just tell them you're going to have to.
Yep. Alrighty. So we'll catch you guys out later. Check Mary out if you don't have her following her. Replayers, thanks for replaying. If you're not following me on Instagram, Lex Country 1 at Lex Country 1, do so. And we'll see all you guys later. Have a great day. Bye now.